I wanted to speak to you about Chelsea, away from Man United. Now, there is a report today that
Oh, Chelsea. I can hate again. Let's go.
Lavia could be out injured now as well. I think that's 11 or 12 injuries they've had so far this season. Talk to me about them. Talk to me.
For the good of football, Chelsea need to fail for the good of football. I'm being dead serious. I genuinely hate Chelsea. Can't stand that football club. Genuinely want them to fail. I pray on their downfall. When Elanga scored that goal, I celebrated like it was Liverpool scoring at Stamford Bridge. I can't stand Chelsea Football Club. People go like, you're butthurt. Yes, I am butthurt. I am bitter. Yes, I am bitter. Hold that. I'm bitter and I'm going to spew my bitterness. Cry more. What can you do about it? Nothing. So sit there and enjoy what I'm about to say. We need, for football's sake, Chelsea need to fail. Chelsea Football Club need to fail because they wanted to skip the process. They wanted to skip step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. They wanted to go from step 1 to step 10. And look, I will not laugh at Lavia for being injured because I'm a good human being. You know, in my core, I can banter, but I know that that's not something to banter on. So I wish Lavia a speedy recovery. But I hope Lavia fails at Chelsea. And I hope Caicedo fails at Chelsea. And I hope all these players fail at Chelsea. We saw McAllister dunking on him with Argentina as well, making Caicedo eat the grass. This is what we need. We bought the best midfielder Brighton could offer. We actually got Brighton's best midfielder in McAllister. You guys got the side piece. You guys got like the second place guy. And look, with Chelsea Football Club, people aren't talking about this, but they've had probably bar Man City the easiest start to the whole season. West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest. And you come out of West Ham, Luton, and Nottingham Forest with 3 points. 3 points out of West Ham, Luton, and Nottingham Forest. And you expect me to sit up here and clap for your process. You've got your manager playing Ben Chilwell, left wing. You've got your manager confused as hell as what he's trying to do. Mr. Jackson, who scored amazing goals in preseason, can't score a goal to save his life. And actually, your best player right now is Raheem Sterling, who you bought, like, I don't know if it was a year ago now or 2 years ago. He's actually your best player on the football pitch. Your captain, once again, is injured, unreliable. You know, you've got people just tweeting negative stuff. Your primary goalkeeper is Brighton's third choice goalkeeper. Third choice. He's third choice after Steele and their new guy. That's who you bought to start at Stamford Bridge. People really expect Chelsea to do well this season. Chelsea ain't going to do well this season. Unless Jack Shuai knows how to find the back of the net, unless some of these players actually perform, because all this clapping for Chelsea Football Club, I ain't gonna clap. What am I supposed to clap for? You guys spent 1 billion. If there was, this is the actual one summer in which I discovered Chelsea are a small club. I'll tell you why. I discovered that Chelsea are a small club because of Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal spent half, even half of what Chelsea has spent over this last year and a half. They would be talking about us having to win the title. Terry would be on the show asking me, Hussam, you've spent 400 million. Club doesn't spend money, huh? Are you going to win the league? I would get asked, are you going to win the league 15,000 times? But because it's Chelsea, for some reason, no one gives a fuck. This just proves that Arsenal are the bigger club in London, and I hope Chelsea fail. But because I'm a good human being, I wish Lavia a speedy recovery. But I hope your football club fucking crumbles and fails. And someone go tell Todd Bowley that this ain't baseball. He's trying to get 15 players on death row contracts. So what if you had to sell Mudryk 3 years from now? You want to talk finances? Let's talk finances. So 3 years from now, you want to sell Mudryk. Who on earth is going to buy a 5-year Mudryk contract? Who's going to do that? No one. No one. And of course, who's coming in the defense of the Chelsea Football Club? City fans. Plastic club number 2. Of course, when you're fake and you have no history and you have no tradition and you're plastic as fuck, you're going to defend your plastic brother. That's the reality. So yeah, fuck Chelsea, man. I hope they fail, and I'm gonna celebrate when they fail this season. They ain't even gonna finish top 5. Telling you right now.
But we all know why you're bitter, though, don't we?
Caicedo. We're gonna 6. Never doubt my own.
FSG to the day I die.
Caicedo.
Yeah, Brighton. We're gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league.
I used to pray for times like this, a midfield rebuild, and I looked at Caicedo and thought he was getting Chelsea, and I looked around and I had Jones on the left, and then I started panicking, no Lavia on deck. I put up in a row. Listen.
Caicedo!
Lavia was our second choice.
Never doubt my own.
You know that rich man law.
FSG till the day I die.
We've heard that Moises Caicedo has made it clear to Brighton that he only wants to move to Chelsea.
Listen, I get your rant.
Can someone quickly just please tell Jerry James to never rap again? Thank God I didn't become FSGN after that signing either. You're never gonna clip me having said FSGN ever. And I've already admitted I'm bitter, Terry. Can a man not be bitter in peace? I've said it. Why? Like, don't accuse me of what I accuse myself of. I've already said I'm bitter. I own it. I own my bitterness. I think I hold that. And I hate that club. And I want them to fail. And I want them to do absolutely suck. And it's my God-given right to be bitter in peace. And Caicedo went chasing the bag. All I'm going to say is one thing, right? I'm going to let you go, Terry. But I just want to say one thing. Hussam from Jordan is crazy when he says it. But Emmanuel Petit, who is a Premier League legend, said the same exact thing that I said. If it was actually football reasons, Lavia and Caicedo both chose them. If it was football reasons. But it's not football reasons. So let's all cut the crap here. This guy's going to get guaranteed 70 million or whatever over the next 8 years. I can't believe people are still trying to convince themselves it's actually football reasons why someone goes to Chelsea. Over Liverpool, no way in hell.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Ray here says fantastic, Terry, and I do get why you're bitter. But yeah, Chelsea, their fans again. Do you know where I will agree with you as a United fan this week? I know we've got some off the field issues, but I'm like, hang on, we've got 6 points from our opening 2 games, and we lost away at Arsenal, and it's had far more attention than Chelsea on 4 points who lost at home to Nottingham Forest.
Thank you. No, but Terry, it's real. Forest, Luton, and West Ham. Are you mad? 3 points from Forest, Luton, and West Ham, and no one's talking about it. Like, is everyone okay here? Let me say it again. West Ham, Luton, and Nottingham Forest at home, and you've got 3 points. Are you mad? And everyone's just acting like it's okay. It ain't okay after spending 1 billion. I don't give a F where Chilwell plays. He could play right wing, and he should still be beating Forest at home. By the way, 3 or 4 of the players Forest bought anyway towards the end of the window didn't even start. Didn't even play for Nottingham Forest. It was Elanga who beat you. Elanga and Tayo Awoniyi, who's a Liverpool reject. So you can hold that.
This here says Gary Neville chose Hazard over Salah. So is he right, Hassan, since he's a former player and legend, of course?
Nah, he ain't right. He's wrong.
By the way, Emmanuel Petit says that Scholes is better than Gerrard and Lampard as well.
He's wrong on that take. No one
I thought he'd be wrong on that one in your eyes. FSG in great signings, and they got Paul DNA, is what Young says to us here. Do you not see Chelsea turning this little slump around, though? Do you just think this is over the course of this season they're going to get better and better? You can't see Chelsea improving.
Chelsea are finishing 8th or 7th or 6th. I don't think they possibly. Look, if they're really lucky, they finish 5th. It's as simple as that. They finish 5th. That's what I think with Chelsea. Look, Chelsea could get some good football going and stuff, shit like that. I know they've had 70% possession, but congratulations, you've had 70% possession against like Luton and shit. So like, we want me to clap for you. So look, they'll get better or whatever, but it is what it is. Chelsea just suck right now, and it's the reality.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think they will improve. I just think it's going to take time. I also believe the real reason why the media is not on them is because the way they built this squad is so different and a little bit strange, really. No real experience being purchased, loads of players under 25, probably too many players all at once to make the team work straight away. I think it's very difficult not to not have expectations on them to get better, but I think and they will improve, and I'm worried about what they could become in the future.
But Chelsea finished 4th with kids under Lampard. Am I lying?
No, I understand that, but I think sometimes you've got to look at the context of a situation. Since that point, what was that, 2019-20 season? Which is a while back now. Chelsea have got progressively worse since then. I know they won a Champions League. However, they have got progressively worse over that period. Things have fallen apart, ownership change, and they're being built up from a very different scenario now. I think the expectations of them with what they've spent is to get back to being Premier League winners, capable of winning the Champions League again. I just think it's going to take a few years. The only way I genuinely see this going wrong is if between the fans and the ownership is if they lose patience. So if they come back after this international break and they don't start winning straight away, I think people will turn on. In fact, I've already seen Chelsea fans turn on Poch. And I think that they just need to remain. And it isn't just because of the manager. It's because the way they've gone about this. If, for instance, this squad, $1 billion was spent, but let's take out 3 or 4 of the youngsters and throw in, let's say with all the money they spent, say they did go and buy, they bought Diaz from Man City. I'm going to make some names up here. Don't worry about the validity of would they go. Just bear with it. If they went and bought Diaz and they bought put Alisson in goal, they bought Diaz, they bought Casemiro in the midfield. They went and got, I don't know, Vlahovic or a top striker. They went and bought themselves Koeman on one of the wings. The young midfielders they've purchased. If they went and had 4 or 5 players of a top class level in that core and spent $1 billion, I think the pressure, well, you've got to go and win straight away. But because it's all youngsters, as much as we all want to say you spent $1 billion, you've got to win, I think we all know in reality that you're never going to create a winning team out of what they've got year 1, maybe not even year 2. It's going to take 2 or 3 years. But the only way I see it failing genuinely is if they keep turning their back on managers, because you're never going to develop a side. You need continuity.
But Terry, for $1 billion, you can buy a whole club. You can buy a whole, not just, you can buy a whole football club. And I understand what you're saying in terms of context of buying kids, but the genuine response would be, who told them to buy kids? Did you or I put a knife on Todd Bowley's throat and be like, you must buy an 18-year-old? The report that came out just before the international break started was that James Maddison was not considered because he's 1 year older than the under 25 threshold. Am I supposed to like go like, oh yeah, I understand why they didn't buy him because he's 26, not 25? That's stupidity. That's utter stupidity right there.
I understand that, and I get it. But again, we know we should be expecting them to win the league after spending £1 billion over 2 summers and a January, over 3 windows. But I think the reality of the situation is we look at what they have bought, and I don't think any real football person goes, yeah, you can make a title-winning team out of that squad year 1. It's all the players have purchased. Typically, that amount of youngsters would have been spread across 5 or 6 teams. We all buy 2 or 3 of them, and they go into squads with elder statesmen around them that they develop. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal slowly got rid of their older statesmen and were just bringing in youngsters. And they were sort of 8th and 8th, and they only started to go up when those younger players were getting old, starting to get older and more experienced. And they added the Zinchenkos and the Jesuses, who have a little bit more age on their side in terms of experience. Then you saw them slowly again start to improve this year. That yes, they bought some youngsters, but they also bring in a Declan Rice who's in his mid-20s, who is experienced and got some know-how about him. He isn't a 21-year-old. That's why I always felt Rice was a better signing for them than Caicedo. Not because Caicedo doesn't have an amazing ceiling, but he's still what beyond he is. Yeah, I do think Rice is better, but at the same time, there's an argument to say Caicedo's ceiling's higher, and I get that. But right now, Rice is the better player. He's more experienced. He's been a captain. He's been someone that's led his team to European glory. So I understand that process. And I just think with Chelsea, I don't know if it's the wrong way to do it in the medium to long.
But you do know, Terry. You do know. How do you spend $1 billion and you're not like, come on.
Let me finish my answer. So I don't know if it's the wrong way to get success in the medium to long term. We're only going to know that in 3 to 5 years. What I do know is that in the short term, mass ingoings and outgoings, and most players being under 25, isn't going to win you things straight away. You might go.
Okay, but Terry, do you don't think that's a problem to begin with? You spending $1 billion, you can't tell me I'm going to win 5 years from now, 3 years from now. That's never how it works. Since when is that a thing? Like,
but again, like I've said, this is something which is strange, innovative and different. They've gone about this in a way that nobody's seen before. However, though, they're saying 3 years, this team, they do stick with Poch. Football keeps getting better. This team matures. They add a few other players in there that are a bit older. They say by the end of next season, they're cooking. And then as they go into their 3rd season, they're the best team in England. That's just hypothetical. They win the Prem. And then for a 5, 6, 7 year period, they're the best team in England. They win the most league titles, most trophies, and it's amazing. You would look back and go, fucking hell, it worked. The problem is, I just don't. This is where it could go wrong for Chelsea. I don't think people in general have the patience to wait for that to come to fruition. Arsenal have kind of done it with Arteta, but he hasn't still won the major trophies. And if he doesn't, it will be
fans don't have patience. There's not an insult.
And
They're the least patient.
Yes, like I said at the beginning, the only way I really see this colossally going wrong is if Chelsea fans don't remain patient, if they want it all now, because your business, your business plan, your plan of action isn't to win it straight away. And we all know that because what you've done has never been done in football before. And certainly buying a whole team full of youngsters has never, ever won anybody a title. Now, people say class of 92. Is it incorrect? The class of 92 was surrounded with a core and a shell of elder statesmen. The great academy players that come through, I always get there. Is it the Decima at Barca, the Messis and everybody else? Look at the older and elder statesmen that were in that team when when the Busquets and the Messis came through. Go back and look. There was older players in there with know-how and experience. Chelsea are trying to do this Chelsea are almost trying to do it how Leeds were trying to do it in the late 90s, where it was all youngsters and very few older players. I do think come January, maybe next summer, I think they do have to look at putting in a 26-year-old there, a 28-year-old there, a 29-year-old there to give them some extra experience and know-how and how to get them through games. But I'm just not someone who's going to completely write Chelsea off right now and say there's no chance this plan works. I'm just going to be a little bit more open-minded.
No, but